Good morning and welcome back. Just morning. Good morning, welcome back to Living on a UK State Pension. My name's Tanya, I'm 68 years old and for the next 15 weeks I'm living on my UK State Pension and saving my civil service pension. Right, it's Saturday the 9th. It has been a crazy morning. I have to be at Aquasize at 9 o'clock. At 8:30, I get a phone call from Danny, who's replacing my glass. Can he come at 10 to exchange the glass over? And I said, don't get out of the pool till 10 o'clock. But I can get out a little bit earlier. Yes, but I have to go now because I've got to go and get your money out of the bank as well, you know. So, mad rush to get out of the house, went and got the money out of the bank. I'd forgotten to move money over, so I was £20 short. Went to Aquasize, left early, then got home. I got booked a dump appointment for 12:15. As I pulled onto my drive and walked around my car, because my wheels were at an angle because I put it on my spare drive, I could see a great big nail in my tyre. I thought, oh no, please. So I phoned a company up. They're coming to the house to do it between 2 and 3, £30 for a straightforward puncture. £30 I didn't want to have to spend this month, but £30 I've saved by using Danny, who agreed to a cash price with me. And I'll going to put a separate video up of the process, what he did today, because he's also given me a discount to put up online as well for the local vicinity, but I will say what area he covers in that video. But before we go on to the pink onions, there was a couple of things I wanted to mention, is that when you're using vinegar, it can sometimes start to eat through the lid. So yeah, it's the fumes from the hot vinegar will start to erode the lid. So in all honesty, it's not worth making too big a batch for too long a period. The only way around it I can see is line this with some greaseproof paper, because you can see there's a like a rubbery lip around the outside, but it tends to go on the join there. I've had one go through, not with pickle in it, but when I've stored some vinegar in a jar, and yeah, it's the acidicness of the vinegar will eat through. So be careful when you're pickling stuff that it doesn't happen, unfortunately. So that's what I'm going to experiment next. I'm going to line them with greaseproof paper and see if they stay better. But that was it's off a jam jar that I've put pickled beetroot in, and that's from July. I'm going to turn you around and show you what I brought in from the garden this morning. I picked another courgette, nice size one again, big one. Another cucumber. They're the pears off my tree. I've had to pick them because they were falling off. 2 Slim Jim aubergines. That's only fit for seeds, so I'm going to leave that on the side to dry out. And that one, they can be done, a few fine green beans can be done with this lot of runner beans. And that's the tomatoes I've picked this morning. And this is the raspberries and strawberries. I don't think there'll be many more strawberries now, but there will be raspberries. That's my second yellow autumn raspberry. And unfortunately, when I was taking all the greenery again away from the tomatoes so that they ripen up in the garden, the plants are too heavy. They can't carry that amount of tomatoes. They were kinking in the middle. So I'll put them in the sunshine. Hopefully they will ripen up. And my lovely clear window. Yay! All done. All done, back to normal. I've got to think of a way of protecting it for when I do the garden. Do you know what? He picked up every single bit of glass, because when he was taking the unit out, it eventually went. But he had put a sheet down, so 99% of it went on the sheet. But I am so pleased with his work. And I'm so pleased he's given me a discount. But I'm making, you might be able to tell from my eyes that are so sore, I'm making pink onions, pickled pink onions. They're sweet, they stay crunchy, and they are lovely in a sandwich or as an addition to a salad, and they're relatively simple to make. I think Aldi do a similar thing, and it's about 99p or £1.20 a jar. It roughly takes 2 onions per jar. I've just put boiling hot water in these, ready to go in the microwave to be sterilised. And you'll need your distilled vinegar. I'm doing the 3-2-1 measurement, which is 300 mils of distilled vinegar, 200 of water, 100 of sugar. Although in this case, I've done slightly less sugar. I've only done 90. I don't want them as sweet as they have been, but that's personal taste. And you'll need some salt too. It was salt that was missing when I first made these. It's been trial and error, and they do need a bit of salt as well. So this is about 35p a jar, 35p a bottle from Lidl, something like that. 42 at the outside, I'm sure it's 35. So not a great deal for your solution. And I've got 4 left. I've used 4.5, and these were 99p. So I've probably used about 50p's worth of onions and 30 odd p's worth of, because that's a litre. Is it a litre? No, it's 568 mils. I've used just over half of this, so 17p. So I think altogether I'm going to get 2, maybe 2.5 jars for less than the cost. I'm going to get 2.5 jars for less than the cost of 1 jar. Because this, as I say, is 568 mils. And I've used just over half. Right, I've put 300 of the vinegar in here, 200 of water. I've got my 90 grams of sugar there, and I'm going to take them over to the cooker and put them in the saucepan. And then I'll bring you over. Big saucepan. That's got to come up to the boil. So all the sugar is dissolved in the solution. This is all the onions. Let me just move that pan out of the way for a second so you can see. This is all the onions. I'm hoping that I do get 3 jars, but it's normally 2 onions to a jar, but they were slightly bigger onions today. So all cut on my mandolin to make them nice and thin. Of course, if you've got a food processor, it makes the job simpler and takes less time. But my eyes are still stinging now. I've swapped sides. I put it on the bigger gas because I need to sterilise the lids of the jars. I always do more jars than I anticipate because there's nothing worse than having something left in your pan that needs to go into a jar and you haven't got a jar ready. I made 2 more blackberry jams yesterday. there. I'm going to go picking again later. As soon as I finish this, I'm going to go and see what blackberries are ready, and then I'll spend the afternoon editing and doing bits and pieces and answering all your comments, because I've answered nothing so far. I've had a complete media blackout, and it's helped me move forward. Right, that's coming up now, so I'm going to start putting the onions in. A little bit of peel there, skin I mean. Right, get that pushed under the solution. And then I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt in there. I do try not to get the roots in, but occasionally I'm going to have to chop that off. So I keep my eyes closed a lot of the time when I'm doing the chopping, which isn't good when you're using a mandolin. Yeah, you see how they go pink, can't you? Because all the dye out of the red onions turns the vinegar solution pink, which eventually turns the white part of the onion pink. Teaspoon of salt. I've got to come back up to the boil. Alright, it's just coming up to the boil. I'm just going to put the microwave on to finish those jars off. I'm going to switch this off now till the jars are ready. It's plenty hot enough. So they'll cook that little bit more in the jar itself. But you don't want them mushy, you want them to have that bite to them still. A little bit of crunch. Right, the good thing about microwaving the jars is the steams your microwave, and it's the great time to give it a good clean because it will have softened any splatters or droplets of stuff that have gone anywhere. Right, I'm just sterilising my pourer, although I probably won't need it with onions, but just in case. Yeah, that to one side. Get rid of that boiling water. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, that's hot. That is very, very hot. Give a good shake. Get as much water out as you can. The steam will do the rest. The heat of glass will dry them out. Just give them a shake to get rid of any water. There we are. I'm going to move these across so I've got somewhere to put the pan. I'm just going to move you a bit closer, onions in each jar. Leave the solution behind for now. Just pack your onions into your jar. Oh, my eyes. My eyes. Now, should I have done 3 bigger ones? I think I should have. Tip that out to there. Solution going in. And I've got some solution left. So I'll put that in a jar. A little bit more solution in each. And the key to this is do not touch them for about 3 weeks. At least 3 weeks. Let all those flavours absorb. Right, lid. No, and that one. Let's just push them down onto the solution. Should get a tea cloth and tighten these up in a minute. Right. Tighten the lids right up and then just stand them somewhere to cool down, and eventually you'll hear a pop as it forms the vacuum inside the jar. So that's made three jars. That was five onions, but they were the bigger ones. 2, 3. There we are. 3 pink onions. While I've got the camera out, I made my sponge as I do, and if I can get a slice out, this is the only thing till I used a couple. I take the ends off. Oh damn, I'll break it up. I don't want to break it up. This has got to be one of the best ones I've made. All it is cinnamon, courgette in there, and some sultanas were soaked in the courgette liquid that came out that I showed you in the video. I'm going to have that with my drink now. That is absolutely beautiful, light as a feather. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16 slices. They're smaller than usual. That's very thin at the bottom. My freebies, the apple turnover is going in the freezer in a moment. I'm going to put it in a bag. And I got a, what was that called? Tiramisu cake. And I had half of it. And today I may have the other half, or I will leave it in a plastic bag or a bit of foil, and I will have that tomorrow instead of my cake. I'm eking it out, but I can report I lost 1.5 pounds since I've been home. I think it's just how your body reacts to being somewhere different. And the other thing I made while the oven was on, some roast potatoes for my tea. I made some little crustless quiche for lunch times. I brought some eggs back with me from the caravan. I bought the eggs on site, so I'm just finishing them up. Just look at this sloe tree, absolutely laden with sloes. Amazing. I'm going to look it up because I believe you can pick them, but you freeze them to mimic them having the first frost. And then I can make some sloe gin for Christmas. So blue. So blue. So many berries. And it's like it all the way down this lane. Every single sloe bush is rammed with berries. I can't wait for them to turn black. Can't reach the ones up the top. I need a grabber to bring the branch down. Well, I've been out and about. I've just collected 560 grams of blackberries. So I shall boil them up and strain them, ready for some more jam. Hopefully a couple of pots there. Right, thanks to a couple of lovely viewers, I have managed to get the top off my pop-up sink thing. I'm just going to give it a clean. I'll take this rubber off completely and give it a good clean then. Don't want it going down the plug hole. Put that there. You'd think they'd make this black, wouldn't you, instead of white, knowing that it's going to get dirty, mouldy. That's it. Have a good clean. Better. That one. Some of that is a little bit of breakdown on the chrome. That's lovely. Now, can I get the toothbrush down there, or is it going to have to be the bottle brush? Bottle brush. I'm going to need a stick. I can see it on the prongs. Good old skewer. Yeah, that's good. My floor cloth. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. There we are. Now, let's clean this bit as well now. Bit lime scale building up on it. Make sure when you've used Viacal, I mean I use it sparingly because it affects my chest, that you take it off quickly within 10 minutes, otherwise it will eat into the chrome. Right, bathroom all done, swept out. So I'm so pleased I've managed to do that. Thank you to the people that mentioned it. Sorry I didn't write your name down, but it did take me nearly 4 hours to catch up on the comments the other night. Yes, so from now on I'm going to have a pad and paper, and when someone gives me a good tip, I am going to mention your name as a thank you for passing on the tip. If I use it, obviously if I use it, or if it's even if it's one that I'm not going to use, I can pass it on. Right, I'm going to give this one a trim, and this one that's behind my sheets. I stripped all my beds this morning. So, well, my bed this morning, because I didn't do it before I went away, which I normally do. But I was running short of time with one thing and another. So the jasmine needs trimming, and this one needs trimming up. And hopefully that will be it, apart from this horrible thorny thing, but I'm not going to take it out because it's too much like hard work. It is so full of thorns, it's painful to go anywhere near it. I mean, I do try and keep it under control, but yeah, that's my job for today. And maybe draw out the line, get that straight. I'm going to see how much Screwfix charge for a large level, spirit level, because it might be worth investing. When I did my raised beds, let's take you down. When I did these, I used a spirit level, and then all my husband did when he came over was screw them together for me, because I haven't got the strength to do that. So, but I did all the levelling and the digging out and laying them. So yes, and if I needed one cut, he cut that for me. So yeah, I did that, and the ones over the other side of the garden. Oh, and I might, if depending on how the day goes, I might start putting in the other raised beds along there. This is starting to look so nice with the colours, the yellows at the back and the pinks. That's why I'm hoping that I can grow some more dahlias in pots that I can put in between. But the Cape Daisy's come back. This one is only just starting to bud up again after I've had to hack it back. And the white flowers over there and the pink version in the corner there. Doesn't do as well this side, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately. I would like, so I'm going to split some of these hostas and put them in the bed, but I would like a couple of variegated ones to add to it so that I can split them next year. I'm trying to do this bed here for nothing, or within reason the very least money I can spend on it. So I'll take clippings of the hydrangea and some hostas in there, because that's north facing there, so it doesn't get a great deal of sun, but it's a warm garden in the summer. So that's what I want to do: hostas, hydrangeas, and I'm trying to think what else I looked up that will be good for shaded areas. I can't remember now. Was it geraniums? But they're perennial, aren't they? I believe. Fuchsias, and there's my bike that I've got to change the valve on and pump up. Fingers crossed it works.